Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Xochitl. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today I wanted to do a quick, easy drugstore holiday glam for anybody last minute looking for things they can pick up at the drugstore, Ulta, Target, Walmart. Let's do a quick and easy glamorous look. All right, so go ahead and prime your eyes. You can use concealer, you can use an eyeshadow base. Honestly, one of my favorite concealers to use is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, the original matte one. And I'm just going in. The palette I'm going to use today, because it's super simple, is the Milani. This is their Most Wanted series palette, and this one is the one in Burning Desire. I wanted to use this one for that really nice gold shade right there. So I just went in with the white shade just to kind of set my concealer. And you can go ahead and take your bronzer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm using the light slash medium palette from e.l.f. This is their highlight and matte highlight and contour palette. And I'm just getting a little bit, mixing the bronzers. And you can honestly just use this as your kind of like eye contour shade, since there's no like browns in the other one. But I just kind of want something a little bit simple here. We can grab a little bit more of the other colors. You can skip this step if you want, but if you want to keep it even more simple, you can just go in with this and a little bit of gold and you are good to go. So we're just going to work that in. Or sometimes even like this and then just a pop of a red color, but we're going to go glam, add a little sparkle on the eyes. All right, so next I'm going to take this matte type of like burnt orange shade. I'm just going to take a little bit, because honestly these colors are so pigmented. You look at that, you don't even need much. And I'm just going to go a little bit below that bronzer crease that we created. And just adding a little bit of warmth to this look. If you don't want this to be like too warm, feel free to go ahead and skip this step and just, you know, stick to that bronzer. Maybe go deeper and deeper with it. I'm just gonna go ahead and add that. And I'm just like packing on the outer part and then just bringing that in. So almost like kind of having your eye like not all the way open, finding that little socket, and that's where I'm kind of putting this a little bit below the bronzer shade. And you can basically just choose to build this up how you want, but honestly a little bit goes a long way. So before your eyes just like orange, little by little. Next, we're going to go ahead and take that gold shade in a flat shader brush, and we're just going to go ahead and put this all over the lid. Look how sparkly that looks. And you can go in with some eye drops, your setting spray. So I'm going to take a little bit. It's like a Milani video right now. My Milani Make It Last setting spray. If you have a little bit of a hydrating spray. And this is just gonna boost that, look at that pigment, and really make the eyes sparkle. Look at that difference. Ignore the fallout, we're gonna wash that out. So I'm just gonna go into the darkest shade now, just the bronzer. You can go in with the orange shade, but I'm just gonna put this, pack that on the edge. And then I'm just blending a little bit above that gold shade. Just gonna blend it just so we don't have any harsh edges. And you can just take the other side, which is a little fluffy brush, and we're just gonna blend out the edges. All right, I'm just gonna take a makeup wipe and we're just gonna clean up the bottoms. And let me do the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what we got for the eyes real quick. And I'm keeping it real simple because we're going to go bold with the lips. So you can even just do just a little bit of bronzer there. But this is how you kind of take a simple eye look and step it up a notch. The key is in some liner or no liner, but the lashes, just kick it up. So I'm just going to go in with my NYX Matte Liquid Liner. You can use a gel liner. Like that, starting to look a little fancier. Let me finish up the other one. what did I say? Lashes. Honestly, like no matter what simpleness you do for your eyeshadows, the lashes always bring up a look. You don't even have to do a wing. Sometimes I'll be lazy and honestly just do a little line across. And if you're afraid of liquid liner, go ahead and use shadow, use pencil. But the lashes, I bring it together. So I've already primed my face using my Good Molecules Priming Moisturizer for my Drugstore foundation. I'm going to use, like I said, one of my current favorites, the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation, because it is winter, it is hot. So I'm just going to go in, and in case you guys are curious, I use mine in number 40, Neutral Hazel. So if you have dry skin, you're going to love this one. I got mine at Ulta. They don't have it at every Ulta, but you can check online. If you have maybe a more oily skin, a great go-to that I'll use for people when I do like their makeup is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. That's just a really good, comfortable matte. And especially if even now in the winter time, your skin is feeling really, really dry. It's like not too matte. So that's a great option. Dry skin, at the end of this video, I can link my favorites dry skin or foundations for dry skin. But I'm just gonna go in with my beauty, or not my beauty blender, this is my Morphe sponge. Cheaper, it's like what, $8, one of my favorites. And I'm just gonna blend that in, and honestly take your time pouncing that foundation into your skin, blending that in so it'll just sit better for longer. Next, going with my favorite e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. They have the regular Camo Concealer if you have oily skin, you want something a little bit more mattifying, but for dry skin, I love this one. And we're just gonna blend it out. And fix those dark circles. To set my under eyes, I'm going to take a little bit of a setting powder. So the difference between a setting powder and a like regular face powder, it's going to be a little bit lighter in the consistency. Just so, especially for your under eyes, it's nothing too heavy that you're adding on. So I'm just going to go in with the shade in this e.l.f. palette, and I'm just going to pack that in and set underneath the eyes. The other spot, I'll take a little bit of powder or your face powder, and I'm just gonna try to set the smile lines. And I have dry skin, so I don't set the rest of my face. I've just found that's what I like. So what I do in the meantime, to let all the, you know, liquids kind of set a bit, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do my brows. So I'll be right back. Looking glam already. My favorite parts, bronzer. So face looks good. Let's add a little bit of structure. So I'm just gonna go ahead. You can use just one shade. I'm mixing in the light medium palette of the e.l.f. Contour Bronze Face Palette. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit more dimension back to my face. Just because when you use like one flat shade, you kind of lose that bone structure or whatever. Or like me, you know, you don't really have cheekbones. We're creating our own cheekbones, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add that. And I'm sweeping up because that's kind of how I want my face to be. So I always like to go, like, say if you feel like your cheekbones start there, I'm gonna start a little bit higher because I know we're gonna drop down a little bit. But if you drop down a little bit too low, I'll show you how to fix that if you're working really fast like me. So here's how, if you want to define that, I'm just gonna go in with that light shade and just your sponge or a brush, and basically it's your little eraser. I don't leave it on for too long, just enough to erase what I need it to. If you went a little bit too high, you can go up like that, a little bit too in. And then take, actually, let's do our blush. while we let that settle a little bit, I'm gonna go in with my Milani Luminoso blush, especially if, say, you want to just skip highlight. This is one of my favorites, and adds a little bit of, once again, I'm starting towards the back and bringing this up. I don't like to do apples of the cheeks. I already have a round face. We don't need that. I'm trying to lift everything. So I'm going and I'm doing it everything back, just kind of like how I did the bronzer, just layering the blush on top, so it's gonna be most minimal towards the middle of the face. Just taking a clean brush, and now we're just gonna brush off and blend everything together so we don't have like streaks of bronzer and streaks of blush around the face or the forehead. For the eyes, you can honestly leave it like this, but I like a little bit of color, so you can take, I'm taking just a little bit from the Milani palette and putting it underneath just to add a little bit of color. You can do a black, or I would probably suggest a brown liner, something a little bit less harsh, but up to you. But I would say brown just because we are going to do the pop of color on the lips. Okay, so now for the lips. Let's go bold, let's go red. You can go ahead and use just your lipstick. This is the Maybelline Ultimatte lipstick in the shade More Ruby. And just given how the kind of like lipstick is, it makes it a little bit easier just to like glide on by itself, but we don't do just simple. You can go in with a red lip liner over that red lipstick. What I like to do, or have been liking to do with my red lipsticks, is to take a more like burgundy lip liner just to kind of intensify it a little bit. Maybe it's the Latina in me, but this is like, I feel like the Selena combo with the darker red type of lip liner and lipstick. So let me show you how that would look. Okay, and I even like feathered in a little bit. All right, next we're gonna take the Maybelline and More Ruby. Okay, any mistakes with the red or anything you want to just crisp up, I just am going in with some concealer and just that end of this beauty blender around the mouth. And that will help it stand out a little bit more too. But I just love how that lip liner just kind of intensified that red just a little bit more. So if you just want to play with it, you want to deepen it, go ahead and use your lip liners that way. But this is the super easy drugstore glam makeup look. Don't stray away from the staples, the classic gold eyeshadow and a nice pop of red. You can even skip the gold eyeshadow and just go in with like a matte, like whatever color shade your lid is, and a little bit of bronzer even. Some of my favorite looks, but just looks a little bit more holiday ready, minimal efforts. Use the products that you have. Pick up products easily from the drugstore. Affordable, mix and match. Use your bronzer for your eyes, for your face. Save some money and look fabulous. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick and easy tutorial glam makeup look. I hope everybody has a happy holidays, and make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with the rest of my videos.